Welcome back, everybody. It's the Honolulu Blues Show, and we are back coming off our little Pro Bowl weekend. We couldn't just let the NFL have their own little, fun Pro Bowl weekend. So us guys, we had our own. No, we didn't have Pro Bowl, but we did take a little week off, and I'm sure Nick and Joyce enjoyed some beers and had fun with the kids. But all in all, boys, it's good to be back, and I feel like we're at someone just rolled a little snowball down a big hill of Lions news and notes, because it's going to start building and building the closer we get to this draft. And boy, I'm excited. Nick, I know you were just down in Mobile checking out the Senior Bowl, so we're going to have some great insider info for you guys. But before we get started, as always, check us out on Twitter, Honolulu Blues _. If you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, and hopefully Apple Podcasts soon, give us a like, a review, something like that. Even if you have any comments, negative or whatever, we love all the feedback. But, boys, what's going on, Nick? I see you rocking the Michigan State's sweater. You got the game popping on in the background, or are you just box score watching?
Box score watching right now, which last I saw was 14-8 Minnesota, and I don't like that. Minnesota, eh? I don't know. I got a little Minnesota accent when I said that either. I got the Spartans rocking. I got my Senior Bowl hat rocking. We're having a good time. I'm excited to be back in Michigan, except that I'm not, because it's 10 degrees here, and it was terrible. And we're getting another week of 9-degree weather. So get me back to Mobile, where it was kind of chilly, but it was a lot warmer than up here.
Yes, sir, man. It's been a weird week of weather. And Julius, I think you've had some weird weather too down by you. It's gotten the 30s around there. Did you guys get a little snow too?
We had a little mini winter storm. We all remember last year.
Yeah, I guess this is a thing.
Around the same time we had apocalypse in Texas. And it snowed and iced for a few days, and everything shut down. Everybody lost power. It was horrible. So this year a lot of people are paying attention to the weather more. So we saw this come in a week or two away, and everybody panicked. Everybody down here bought out the grocery store. The shelves were empty. They bunkered down in the bomb shelters and expected the worst. And we did get a nice little ice storm that shut all the schools down and shut work down for a lot of people, including myself. I had 5 days off in a row. It was pretty nice, I'm not going to lie. But now, it was 50. It was 70 degrees today, and it's it never happened. So life goes on.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Michigan is, but we don't jump back up into the 70s. We kind of just spike around from 20 to 50 degrees all winter long.
Yeah, I remember.
Also, I don't know where you're getting 50 degrees from, bro. I haven't seen a 50-degree day.
Just you wait, man. I'm telling you, we're going to have middle of March after the blizzard. There's going to come some 48, 52 degree day. That's where true. I was just what the? I can
Hopefully
go play
it's on
some
St. Patty's Day. You know what I mean? Give me March.
Yeah, for real.
55 degrees, sunny day, disking, drinking, having a great time.
Definitely.
Which is crazy to think, because St. Patty's Day is the start of the new freaking season, basically, with free agents. And it's a month away, guys.
I'm excited.
Coming quick.
And hey, to tease free agents, not this episode, but next episode, we'll be talking a little free agency episode, talking about the guys we should keep or cut as well. So there's a lot of big names going on too. So we got a good episode for next week. But for this show, some news and notes. Aaron Glenn, he's likely returning. He doesn't have any more interviews, although I think there is one other team that has hired a head coach. I'm not sure. I
think head coaches are filled, but some defensive coordinators are still available. Okay, then but I don't think he'd be jumping ship for defense.
Yeah. And also, this was kind of like the double whammy too, because I didn't realize that you need to have a minority coach for 2 years to get the compensatory picks, and not just 1 year. So if Glenn would have got poached from us, we wouldn't have got any type of compensatory picks. But now he's likely going to be with us another year, meeting that 2-year mark. So if he does become a head coach, we'll get 2 third-rounders, and that's not too bad.
Wow, that's oof. I want to keep Aaron Glenn, but man, a couple extra third-rounders.
And especially with Brad Holmes, and you just saw what he could do with the third and fourth-rounders. You're ooh.
I take that for an assistant. I take that any day of the week.
But I want it all to be clear. We love Aaron Glenn on this show. You know what I mean? Keep him here.
It's it's a win-win situation, how I look at it. If he leaves for a better spot, we get our picks. Everyone's happy.
Yeah, except unless he gets us to like a top 3 defense and then leaves us, then I'll be like, actually, I don't want those picks. Can we just keep the number 3 defense? Like, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And then boys, all right. We can't go to the show without mentioning it. Matthew Stafford playing in the Super Bowl this Sunday. You got to know your picks, what your thoughts are. You guys going to be rocking a Stafford jersey. Myself, I'm going to be rocking my Bengals gear. I've become a Bengals fan throughout this fantasy season. Jamar Chase has won me a couple leagues. I was a big Joe Mixon truther. He did well this season, so I'm all in on the Bengals. And not that I'm, rooting against Matthew Stafford. If they were playing the Chiefs, I'd be rooting for Stafford, but Bengals, oh man, they just grew on me, and hopefully I'll be able to hit the gritty at the end because I also have a $5 ticket that could win me $150 too for the Bengals win the Super Bowl. So, Nick, I saw your tweet a little earlier that you might be rocking the Stafford jersey, so give me the laydown.
Got my Rams hat that my wife bought me when we went to see the Lions versus the Rams. My wife from Los Angeles, so had to get a LA hat, and she bought me a Rams hat, and I was like, thanks, but I'll never wear this. But you know what I mean? But I appreciate it because I do like hats, so like I appreciate that. I'll have that on, so it will get its use. I'll have my Stafford jersey on. I'll have my little Stafford football here that I got when we were out there. But I also said, and as much as like I'll be rocking all my Stafford gear because I'll finally be able to rock all the Stafford gear, I'll probably wear both Stafford jerseys and my Stafford jersey. You know what I mean? Like this might be, I never thought I'd have an opportunity to rock a Stafford jersey during the Super Bowl while rooting for Stafford. So this might be a once in a lifetime chance. I'm not too butthurt, excuse the French, about Stafford leaving us at this point. It's been a roller coaster for me. But right now, however, I did tweet out too in that tweet, the Bengals are the underdogs. And being a Lions fan, you always root for the underdog no matter what. And so I'm not going to be mad to see Joe Cool, Jamar Chase go out there and Trey Kendricks get this victory against like this Hollywood super team. 2 years in a row we had a super team with like Brady and the Bucks, and now you get Stafford and the Rams. I don't want that to be the norm in the NFL. I hate it in the NBA. I love the parity in the NFL. So I'm okay with the Bengals winning it too. But that doesn't mean I won't be rocking the Stafford jersey. I won't really have a rooting interest, but I'll be rocking all Stafford stuff.
I like it. Just rooting for a good shootout game. That's what I'm really hoping for. I want to see like a 35-38 type score, something crazy. So, Nick, if you did have to give a prediction, what would you give?
I'm going with a 28-26 Rams victory.
I like it. Julius, all right. I know you are not the biggest Rams fan. I know you're not going out and purchasing the Detroit Rams T-shirts that they're selling. But give me some of your thoughts on this game. And I know you got a little part in you that'll be rooting for Stafford when he makes a cool sidearm throw to Cup.
Gives the fist bump.
Listen. I mentioned this yesterday on Against the Standard podcast about because it's a lot of people upset with me on Twitter because I want the Rams to lose. That's all I want, Lions Twitter. Listen to me. I love you guys. Don't hate me because I want the Rams to lose. I don't want Matthew Stafford to lose. I really don't care if he wins or loses individually, but as his team, I don't care if it's a little shiesty. Oh, it's only one pick in draft position. Don't matter, perhaps, but Lions fandom is from the salt of the earth. People living and dying without seeing a winning franchise. And Stafford was here for 12 years. He had 3 chances in the playoffs, failed 3 times. Love the guy, had some great moments, but I am not about to root for the Rams' success because of him. So I'm predicting the Bengals, who come from downtrodden Midwestern Cincinnati, to shock the NFL world, shock the Rams, shock Matthew Stafford, to the benefit of Lions draft position by 1 pick, which I appreciate, and Joe Burrow goes for 5 touchdowns on Aaron Donald's head. Bengals 40, Rams 12.
I love it. I love it.
Fireworks.
Big old butt
LA.
whooping. I like it. See, that's kind of where I'm at, Julius. It's not that I'm like rooting against Stafford to have the worst game of his career. I hope Stafford throws for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns, but I just hope Joe Burrow has the ball in his hands with the last second and makes a game-winning drive, and not Stafford. But all in all, it's going to be a great game. I'm happy that we don't have to see Tom Brady in it for like the 10 millionth time. It's kind of nice that we're not going to see Pat Mahomes, who we know is going to be back plenty of times. So it's good. And it's nice to especially not see Aaron Rodgers or the Packers be in there. So that's always good.
I want to jump in real quick. Just, man, and I know this is the Lions show, but we're going to talk NFL real quick. Do you guys see what happened to Russell Wilson happening to Pat Mahomes possibly? Like Russell Wilson went and won a Super Bowl, went back and lost it. And we're like, dynasty, Russell be back many times in his life. And he ain't ever been back. Pat Mahomes has this great year, wins the Super Bowl, goes back, loses the Super Bowl, now loses the AFC Championship. Now might not have these. Travis Kelce's another year older. Andy Reid's another year older. Like, I don't know, guys. I know we think like Pat Mahomes, like I'm. And the NFL is weird. It just seems like there's kind of this parallel between Russell Wilson's career and Pat Mahomes' career to a degree. Kind of something to think about. I don't know. Is that smoke or is that fire?
Yeah, I kind of get it. I could see it. But for me, I think Russell Wilson, he more so lost like the Legion of Boom. Like Chancellor was out, Earl Thomas was out, and then Sherman. And then that was kind of like the whole defense was rallying around them, and then obviously Bobby Wagner. But the Chiefs, I think if we did see, Kelce falls off, Tyreek, I don't know if Tyreek or all fall.
What if they just can't pay him? What if they just can't pay him?
Exactly, yeah. Tyreek just takes a bag for somewhere else because he's already got 2 rings or something. So yeah, I could see it. It would be interesting. Hopefully the Lions could get in a position like that where we just have such good, we're in the Super Bowl, have such a good team. We're not even mad about, losing players or something like that. But
I'm starting to think Pat Mahomes could actually be the next Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, that's a good comparison too. Yeah.
And so to the point is they're paying him a ton of money and they're paying a couple other players a ton of money with him. And he's not on a rookie Mahomes not on a rookie contract no more. He has like this dominating figure over the franchise. It's no guarantee they're gonna win, as we saw this year. He can go the next 10 years without winning the Super Bowl. He could appear in a couple and not win none, just like Aaron Rodgers did, or all the AFC championships, 13-win seasons he wants. So we'll see though. I like that comparison to Russell Wilson as well.
Long time.
Most certainly. And, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, I guess there are some rumors going on that the Packers do want to run it back. And I haven't heard any word of Rodgers confirming this, but the Packers organization, I saw a little Bleacher Report came out that said Rodgers and the Packers are trying to rekindle things and run it back for next year. But as we know, Aaron Rodgers is a bit of like an attention seeker, so it wouldn't surprise me if he kind of dragged this out and really teased the media of him, getting traded or something, and ended up just running it back with the Packers and kind of just Rodgers running it out until he, is on his last limbs. And honestly, he's like 38, 39 now, so who knows? It could come soon. He's not Tom Brady is that freak of nature type player. So not every type of quarterback plays over 40. So it'll be interesting to see what Rodgers and even Adams does there. But and then obviously they did lose their offensive coordinator to the Broncos. So that is another little thing.
He also purchased land in Nashville.
I did see that, yeah. And then I guess the Titans said, oh no, we're committed to Ryan Tannehill, but it's like, yeah, come on. Like,
we interviewed Mike McMahon, he said he was told the same thing before they drafted Joey Harrington.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, been there, done that. But also, I read an article about him breaking up with his current, fiance or girlfriend due to jealousy and like anger issues between Rodgers. And this is like the third girl. And I've said this before on our podcast. He's a bad person. This is why I don't want him with Detroit. Like that one question got brought up a while ago. Not that I don't care about winning. Not that I don't care about Super Bowls. Aaron Rodgers could probably win a Super Bowl. I don't want him because I don't like the guy. I don't like the human being. I don't like him as a human being. I don't.
Fair point. Fair point. Julius, let me ask you, if we had the worst of the worst, the meanest of the mean quarterback coming for the Lions, and he won a Super Bowl, would you be okay with it?
You talking about Aaron Rodgers?
Sure.
If Aaron Rodgers came to the Lions and won a Super Bowl, I'd be an Aaron Rodgers fan for life.
Me too. Me too.
It's one of those circumstances that
I have a Rodgers Lions jersey framed.
That would be so terrible. I'd be so mad.
Man, but how, like, in an alternate universe, Rodgers joins the Lions, retires.
I mean, maybe he's so. Maybe
goes to the Super Bowl, goes to the Hall of Fame and retires as a Lion. Just
maybe he's so eccentric of a person. Maybe he's so eccentric of a person that he has this idea. What if I went to the Lions, beat the Packers a few times, and won a Super Bowl on a team that's been the worst franchise in all of sports?
I think it's way more plausible than people think because of the way Aaron Rodgers thinks and because of what you just said, Julian.
And because of what Tom Brady did. This has never been compared, but like I know Rodgers has like a thing in the back of his head that's like, okay, if I had 6 rings, I would be the best quarterback. I just don't have the Super Bowl rings. Yeah. But it's like he's got that,
Y'all know what would help? If the Lions made a real strong play for Devontae Adams.
That would help. But
it seems like he's probably going to go Rodgers in on it.
Seems like he's going to go to Denver. They grabbed his OC already. They got the quarterback coach to be the new OC. Like he's going to Denver or Tennessee. But we keep talking about like Tom Brady doing that with with Tampa Bay, and Aaron Rodgers could do that with Detroit. Joe Burrow got drafted by Cincinnati, and in 2 years took him to the Super Bowl. Didn't have to go to this team. Didn't have to win a bunch and then go and win. Joe Burrow's just like, hey, dude, I got this. I'll beat Mahomes. Don't worry. He's so good.
It's true though, and then it just goes to show how much the league's shifted, in which it's always been a defense wins championships. Well, Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times in that Titans game and still won. So maybe it's the double offense beats a good defense. So I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they won with like 19 points. So I mean, it definitely wasn't an offensive game. Their defense held pat too.
They did enough, though, is what I'm saying.
Yes, they did.
But while we're on the topic of quarterback switch of teams, Kyler Murray unfollowed everyone on social media. I know everyone, but Arizona personnel on social media, and I doubt he's going to get traded or anything. But I have a theory, boys. The Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay. Tom Brady goes to the Bucs, wins the Super Bowl. Super Bowl's in LA. Matthew Stafford gets traded to LA, makes the Super Bowl, has a chance to win it. Where's the Super Bowl next year? Arizona. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to trade Kyler Murray, get a different quarterback to come to Arizona, new quarterback, new team, take them to the Super Bowl. Kyler Murray's going to come to the Lions. It's going to be all good. But
that would be a crazy coincidence.
Would you guys have any appeasement, if that's even a word, of getting Kyler Murray on your team? And if so, what would you feel comfortable giving up? Would you give up this first round pick and some? I don't know. It's interesting because Kyler hasn't really won any big games, but he has shown he can make big plays and be kind of clutch. So, Julius, let's start with you first. I see you thinking over there. I feel like you don't want it, but you kind of do.
Arizona gonna want too much for him, okay? Yeah. And I'm not sure about Kyler Murray for real, because when DeAndre Hopkins went down, he fell off a cliff, to be honest. And it started with the Lions pretty much, and he got exposed and
shut down by Mario.
I know, and I can definitely see a desperate Arizona front office with Cliff. What's his name? Cliff Kingsbury, right? I feel like he might think he can make a Sean McVay type move, but I don't know what. No, they would need another quarterback though, right? That's what they would need. Who would they get though? They
Jared
want
Goff.
Golf? They could have Golf.
Deshaun Watson. How crazy would that be?
That'd be crazy.
The Lions trade
Aaron Rodgers.
the picks
I'll
they
I'll
get
give
for
Goff
Kyler Murray.
a first rounder.
John Watson.
To get Kyler Murray, you're gonna have to give up 2 to 3 firsts, plus 2 seconds, plus the quarterback.
That's too much.
That's the going rate for Watson. That's gonna be the going rate, if not more, for Kyler.
Well,
I do it for Watson.
And then not to mention,
I'm all right with that.
Stafford, honestly, probably jacked up the quarterback trade value by just saying, "Look, you put a good quarterback on a good team, Super Bowl." You know, like
copycat
simple
team.
as that.
Copycat
If the Rams
team.
win the Super Bowl, we didn't ask for enough. I tell you guys that much right
you're
now.
right.
I think so.
Yeah,
which is
we
weird.
lost the trade. If they
We
win.
got shafted if he wins that Super Bowl.
We got shafted. The
Unless
Lions
we
got
draft
same
Malik
old
Willis
Lions.
with the 31st pick, or Kenny Pickett or Sam Howell, and they
something
win
like
the Super
that.
Bowl in 2 years. That's the only way we don't get shafted on this trade. Don't matter who it is.
Yep, 100%. But let's move on. We still got some Senior Bowl.
Wait, hold on. Let me talk about Kyler Murray real quick. Kyler Murray is going to baseball. Mark my words right now. He's not fit to be an NFL quarterback.
Super interesting.
This is what I said, and I don't know, for some reason, Adam, you and I think, talked about this somehow. I think even over Twitter, like 2 weeks ago, and now I'm bringing it back up. I went on a podcast and said this, a Big 12 podcast, the year he was being drafted, and I went out and said, Kyler Murray will not win in the NFL. And they were like, oh, my God, he's the Lord and Savior. And it's like, no, dude, no. If you watch, before he got drafted, he went on an interview with Dan Patrick, and he couldn't answer a single question because he didn't know his own future. And he had to keep looking at his dad, who his dad ended up stepping in and saying, like, no, we're not answering these questions and stuff like this. It was weird. It was super awkward. Kyler Murray was super awkward, like in front of live TV. He is not a leader. You do not have guys rally behind him. If you talk to any person that Matthew Stafford has ever been a teammate with, they have nothing but glowing reviews, right? The best reviews for him. I can almost guarantee Kyler Murray is not going to get that from all of his teammates. Maybe some. Julius alluded to it when DeAndre Hopkins went down. He went to one of the worst quarterbacks. Cliff Kingsbury has one of the worst histories of the last 5 or 6 games in the NFL. It's crazy. He's won 2 games in the last 6 games of every NFL season he's been in. And that's combined 2 games. He's 2-18 or whatever. It's crazy. Kyler Murray, mark my words, is doing all this and is going to go get paid. He's going to be the, I mean, you know what I mean? I can't think of the Sidney Crosby of the MLB. He will be on everything. He will be over merchandised. He will be popular way more than what he is as a quarterback in Arizona right now. He will make this leap this offseason, and we are going to see him outfielder for the A's next year. Mark my words right now.
Man, you know who I want to see next? Pat Mahomes. Get off the Chiefs and join the Tigers.
Hey, we have rights, baby.
We still do. I think our rights with him go to it was ridiculous. It was 2024, 2025, how long we had his rights for. But yeah, that's a great
the MLB,
point.
it needs to get off strike though. Come on.
That with Kyler Murray, and honestly, I feel like the NFL gives you you got to go to the NFL. It's the cool thing. All the cool guys, that's where it's at. Yeah, and and then baseball was kind of like this. Oh, it's an old man sport. Oh, it's a dying sport. It's not. I mean, it is exciting, but it's exciting in different ways. And I think it's a great point, Nick. I think it got in his head, and he kind of just let an alternative part of himself choose NFL when he may have actually wanted to play in the MLB. And now here's where I'm going to come with a little spin on this Kyler Murray take. I would be surprised if he went to the MLB and then just came back as a backup quarterback or a part-time, not a full-time quarterback or, a superstar, but some sort of role player. Because I think he's just too good to, not have a chance in the NFL.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I always kind of thought Zach Taylor would be the coach out of the Sean McVay tree that went right down the drain, and Cliff Kingsbury would go up. And I was wrong. Taylor's the real deal.
Cliff was a bad college coach. Well, record-wise, I mean,
Yep.
he just had some kind of hype surrounding him. I mean, I don't think he's that good of a coach. They done built a decent roster. Like I said, I just don't believe in I just don't believe in Kyler Murray as a quarterback, like on the Mahomes, Joe Burrow,
Yep.
the level you need to win a championship.
So I tweeted out when this came out as under the Honolulu Blues was just like, pass, don't want it. Next, I'd rather keep Goff and see what happens next year.
Yeah, I kind of agree too, especially with some of these quarterbacks we have this year and next year too. It's going to get interesting with Stroud and Bryce Young coming out next year, who are both legit guys. But the Lions did make some big news promoting tight end coach Ben Johnson to our offensive coordinator position. I've been hearing great things about him. I don't really know a whole lot about Ben Johnson, but all in all the Lions beat reporters have thumbs up on him and have high praise for this dude, saying he's deserved it. And I guess, Nick, I think you posted that tweet of just kind of some of his stats. So give me a little roundup of this guy.
Yeah, I got to see him up close and personal.
That's
down
right.
in Alabama. Got to hear him calling the plays because he was taken over as offensive coordinator for the Senior Bowl. And it was awesome. It was great. A great insight on kind of plays that he's reading off. Tweeted, a few of them, so you can kind of see some of those. But he's been around the league. He's been around the league since 2011, I believe. He was with Boston College before that, so that's a solid 10 years in the NFL. Was with the Dolphins, and was their tight ends coach when Dan Campbell, who was the tight end coach in 2015, got promoted to the head coach. The offensive assistant, who was Ben Johnson, moved into the role of tight end coach there. So that's kind of already a connection between Campbell and Ben Johnson. With the Dolphins, he was quarterback coach while Ryan Tannehill was there for the 3 years. Stayed with the organization while Adam Gase came in. He became wide receiver coach, coached up guys like Jarvis Landry, Kenny Stills, Devontae Parker. So just some good, solid wide receivers. Was the assistant receiver coach, became wide receiver coach when they lost Landry to Cleveland. They replaced him with Albert Wilson. Wasn't that great. Goes over to Detroit to be an offensive assistant, like game plan coordinator or something like that, and then becomes the tight end coach this Hawkinson's second year. And as we all know, Hawkinson's second year, he ended up going up for 700 yards, 64 receptions. This year, tight ends coach Ben Johnson gets Hawkinson, only plays 12 games, but was on pace for 850 plus yards, 6 touchdowns, and over 86 receptions if he would have played all 17 games. Great coach, right? Coach Julius Thomas at the Dolphins before he went to Denver, and we saw what Julius Thomas did with Peyton Manning. He's a great coach, under the radar. This is huge, though. This could be the same thing as us signing Joe Lombardi and saying he's got a great pedigree. A lot of guys like him. And he just poops the bed with one of the best Lions teams of all time in 2014. Or this could be Kyle Shanahan going to the Redskins. This could be Sean McVay, offensive coordinator, before they get their head coaching position. This could be very practical and smart. I trust in everything Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell do right now. I am at their full, whatever they decide, I am in agreement with. So I love Ben Johnson right now. There's a few notes and stats about him. But other than that, he's pretty under the radar. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely. And I also think it wasn't like a weird hire or something that, would make Lions fans question. So it was, if anything, like the safe and smart hire. So, Julius, you got any quick thoughts or comments on Ben Johnson?
I mean, it was pretty expected. I mean, it was not a well-kept secret. So, I mean, it makes sense. And I've talked about this on Twitter, but I expect Dan Campbell to continue to call plays next season. So, to me, Ben Johnson is still like an offensive assistant, and that's okay. He still got the promotion, still got the title. I'm sure he's going to be more involved, and he has pretty great credentials up to this point, and past remarks from other sources around the league, players like him. So I think it's the right move. Why bring in a Matt Nagy or somebody else to come F up the team? Just stay the course. Stay the course. So I like the hire.
I like it. And then finally, just to wrap up this news, the Lions. We had another not head coach, but coach that was being interviewed for a defensive coordinator position for the Vikings. That was Aubrey Pleasant, our defensive backs coach, or what was DB? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. So, although I don't think he'll get the gig because they did bring in a couple other guys, not for sure on he will or won't. But all in all, Nick, you made a great point of, is this, the first little sign of teams starting to respect the Lions in a way of, hey, they actually might have some good coaches in the building, and we should take a look at these guys and not just pass them on over because it's the Lions.
It's 100% that. Aaron Glenn, Aubrey Pleasant, it's not just a coincidence. We have a great coaching staff. The league knows we have a very good coaching staff, and we just need the correct players. We had a skeleton crew. They know we're going to be a menace. They're trying to rip us apart from the inside, and I like it because they're scared. Bring it on. All of them are coming back home, and we're going to flip this. We're going to go from worst to first. We're winning the division. 12 wins next year. I cannot wait for us to do our schedule prediction because I'm getting us 12 wins. All last year, I said we ain't winning more than 3 games. All last year. Go check the notes. I got receipts. 3 games was the maximum. Every schedule prediction we did, I said 3 games. How many games did we win? 3 games. This year, 12 wins. With the amount of first-time head coaches we get, the amount of change that the NFC North is about to happen, we're getting 12 wins this year. With Jared Goff, it's going to put us in this huge flux of, do we keep Jared Goff or do we not keep Jared Goff? I don't think Goff will be able to win us a Super Bowl, but he will be able to get us to the playoffs, and it'll be this whole conundrum. We'll never really get to the Super Bowl with Goff, but he'll win it. But it doesn't matter because this year we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to win 12 games after this amazing draft that we have. But yeah, I do like that our coaches are being.
I would love a situation of like a Jimmy G situation where like we trade up to like pick 20 or something, draft Malik Willis or something, and Goff just plays good enough, gets us a playoff spot, wins us a playoff game, and then loses the next one. And now we're going to next season with a headache of who we going to start, either Goff or, if it is Malik Willis, Pickett, whoever. But
Chiefs did it pretty well. They had Alex Smith take him to the playoffs, bumped him right out of there, and brought in Pat Mahomes, and it worked out. So it can be done.
Yeah. Man, you know what? Yeah, that's crazy. I totally just realized. That happened twice to Alex Smith, in which Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith, that was a good season. He just got injured. Kaepernick took off. And honestly, Smith, I'm not saying he would have won the Super Bowl. He got him there, but I think he could have won him a playoff game with that defense and that talent around him. I think it easily could have happened, but whole different story. Boys, we have some Senior Bowl talk to talk about. Nick, I know you got a lot to talk about since you were down there yourself. But Julius, give me one of your first guys that impressed you in some way. One guy that you'd like the Lions to grab.
I'm going to start off with the offensive side of the ball, which there were not as many as defensive guys. Maybe it's because I was watching the defense more closely when I watched the game. The offense, I kind of looked at the players who names I already knew, but like I was really laser focused on the defense on all 3 levels. And so there's a ton of guys over there, but I like to start off with offense, and I got tight end Jake Ferguson from Wisconsin. And I know everybody think of tight end. Okay, first of all, this is not the first round prediction. This is not the Lions about to take him with the Rams pick, or even a top pick in the 2nd round, or who knows what they do in the 3rd round. I'm just saying there's nobody really behind TJ Hawkinson. Okay. So we might want to add some depth behind him. There's nothing wrong with that. It seemed to work. And Jake Ferguson is definitely a guy who could be there in the mid rounds, hopefully, because he really impressed, I think, in Mobile with his blocking and his receiving. He was a great practice player from all the articles I've read, and in the game, he showed off those skills in multiple areas. So it's definitely somebody I think the people shouldn't be surprised if they hear about. And Dan Campbell, tight end, he's a tight ends coach. He's a former NFL tight end. Word has it, he loves the kid. Don't be surprised if you hear him right there at the top of the third round.
Ben Johnson, tight end coach too, offense coordinator now.
Yep, just talked about him.
Adam, did you want to? Okay, I don't know where we're going, but Jake Ferguson's a great pick. I'm just gonna reiterate on him. Wisconsin boy, probably 4th round, but worked his way up to the 3rd round via the Senior Bowl. We'll see what he does in the combine in 22 days. He's great. He is an amazing, and we need a backup tight end. So whether it end up being Trey McBride earlier, or Jake Ferguson in the 4th, I actually have a tight end too that I like out of UCLA. That's kind of a 5th round, 6th round. Greg Dulcich, excuse me. He's also a great tight end. So I 100% agree. We're going to have to get a tight end in this draft. It has to happen. We have to.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of solid tight ends from like this 3 to 5th round range. It's not like they're studs coming in the 1st and 2nd round. It's a good mix of late round guys. So I think we're gonna get probably a tight end, and if we don't, I wouldn't be surprised if we went with Brock Wright, gave him some sort of either extension or something like that, or signed a veteran tight end, because there's quite a bit of tight ends that are free agents. But one guy that did impress me on the wide receiver side or offensive side is Jalen Tolbert. This dude, former 2-star prospect, South Alabama guy. I feel like he's just always played with a chip on his shoulder, has been, not playing with, the best. He was in the Sun Belt in South Alabama. So kind of, obviously could have been better. But this guy, he has just great footwork. He has great acceleration. He ran a route I don't know if you saw this one in the Senior Bowl, Nick, but it was the exact same route that Calvin Ridley ran in off season, and people went crazy about it. He does a little like out route and then cuts into the left and then just does this little back pedal jab and gets wide open, and he ran it perfectly. So he's a guy that can stop on a dime, make the right cuts, has good acceleration, good speed, good burst. And honestly, another thing that I liked about him is Antoine Randall had some high praise for him, saying he would be a great fit and would work well with us. So I think Randall L would be able to coach him up too. But yeah,
he's great, dude. 6'1", though. Coming in, he was 6'3" his whole life. And then all of a sudden in the Senior Bowl, he measured at 6'1", which is kind of weird. I don't know where the 2 inches came or went. But he's a great wide receiver. Also moved himself probably up from the 3rd round to the 2nd round. You say that probably just because I'm wearing Michigan State. If you don't know, Jalen Tolbert turned down Michigan State along with 2 other Big Ten teams to stay at home and go to South Alabama. For anyone who doesn't know, the Reese Senior Bowl is in South Alabama Stadium. So he was at home at his home stadium playing, and he balled out. Him and Deuce were laughing a lot after the practice on their way walking out. Great guy. Love Jalen Tolbert. Should easily be drafted in the top 2 rounds. I don't know if the Lions end up making it in the tops, to grab him up that early. Depends on what receivers are there. He'll help whoever gets him though. And I'll stay on the offensive side. I'm going to go with another wide receiver, the biggest receiver that was there out of North Dakota State University. Don't you know? This guy, 6'4", Christian Watson. He is a beast. He's got a 77 and 3/8 wingspan. Like, the dude is covering a garage like Calvin. Like, it's nuts. Speed. He just didn't get a lot of praise during the year because he played at North Dakota State. But put him up there against his peers, he blew him out of the water, if you ask me. Him and Jalen Tolbert, Calvin Austin, those were the top 3 wide receivers there. Unbelievable. And what Christian Watson gives you, like, as opposed to where Calvin Austin, who's a great wide receiver from Memphis, 1,000-yard receiver, 2 years in a row. He's 5'7", $178. He's like Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? We don't need that. We need a guy like Jalen Tolbert, who's I guess similar to, like, I think Cephas is like 6'1". So that's like kind of that comparison. Christian Watson, 6'4". This is like Mike Evans. This is what we need, in my opinion, for the red zone. This is what we need on third down. He is just throw it up and let him get it kind of wide receiver. I like him a lot. He also improved his stock so much, he'll probably end up being like a third, maybe a late second round pick. So I don't know where he'll fall in for Detroit, but I hope that we look at him. I like Jalen Tolbert. Both of those would be great. Jake Ferguson would be awesome. Great offensive scouts here, guys. Man, we should be scouting for the Lions, boys.
Yeah, Watson. He had a solid Senior Bowl, and he had a couple highlights on another standout guy, Kobe Bryant, not the basketball player, the cornerback for Cincinnati. And he had at least, I saw 2 highlights on Twitter where he kind of dominated Kobe. So just goes to show that this dude is, very, very big, physical, and yeah, he gives off Mike Evans, Kenny Galladay vibes. So
yeah.
I'm all in. All right, Julius, we'll head it on back to you. Give us a defensive player that caught your eye.
Well, first of all, let me just shout out Nick and Adam, because Kobe Bryant was on my list. Christian Watson was on my list too. I love both of those guys. And I'm hoping we can get one of them, a guy like that, of value, like some like Amon-Ra St. Brown kind of value. Like we can get a Watson in the 4th round, that'd be nice. That's something I'm looking at. But anyways, defense, Senior Bowl, lose track. Jalen Petrie, safety from Baylor. We need a safety. We might need 2 or 3 safeties, depending on what's what. But we were talking about Will Harris in the group chat, in our text chat. It's so funny, talking about the money we can save, if we cut him like $2.5 million. And I'm like, because in the 4th or 5th round, we could get Jalen Petrie from Baylor, who showed during Senior Bowl practices. I believe he was the practice MVP for the American side. He showed that he can be a cornerback safety hybrid combo dynamic defensive player. And it'd be great if we can get that guy later in one of those late rounds and part ways with Mr. Will Harris and save the $2.5 million.
I kind of hope he has a bad 40 time so he stays right in the 5th round, 4th round, and we can get – dude, when he hits, man, it's like a freaking semi-truck run into a wall. Pow! You just hear it. You're like, oh, Petrie. Must have saw him over there, And it reminds me of you guys ever watched the movie Land Before Time?
A long time ago.
I'm pretty sure his friend, the little bird's name is Petrie.
Yeah.
That reminds me of that movie every time I see his name. Yeah.
All right. So another guy that I liked on defense, I'm trying to pull him up. All right. Darian Beavers, linebacker at Cincinnati. This dude, he was a former safety / wide receiver at high school. So he's very versatile. He's got speed. He's got good hands. And honestly, he gives me a hint of Isaiah Simmons. Not that exact type player, but he's a guy that can cover, that can move, that can get around, that can chase a dude down. And you need guys like that because with the NFL, you have so many speed players that can get the edge and they're gone. And you need fast linebackers like Beavers to hunt them down and catch them and track these speedsters down. But he's very physical, great run defender. All in all, he's a good leader too. He had a solid Senior Bowl too, Nick. I'm not sure. Give me some thoughts on him, I guess.
Darian Beavers is phenomenal. 2nd fastest linebacker coming out in the draft from sideline to sideline, behind Devin Lloyd. That's it. You can bring up all those Georgia linebackers: Channing Tindall, Quay Walker, N'Kobe Dean. All those teammates, they're not as fast as Darian Beavers, in my opinion. We'll see it at the 40 time. Cincinnati sent 3 amazing defenders to the Senior Bowl. Yeah. Kobe Bryant, we already talked about him. He is freaking great. He's such a good defensive back. Myjai Sanders, if I'm saying that right. Myjai Sanders. Great edge rusher. And then Darian Beavers, linebacker. Just literally, you said you hit the nail on the head. Versatile. Not versatile. Fast, bro. Just wide receiver, playing linebacker. I cannot wait to see his 40 time. The dude's going to bump his stock when he runs a 4.2 40, and guys are going to be like, my God. Maybe not that fast, but he's going to be super fast, probably a 4.4. Like, he's just so fast. And that is what the NFL is kind of going to right now. You need someone to cover. Like, that's why Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay and Zach Taylor are so successful, because they know to take advantage of the mismatches of the slot receivers, the fast tight ends, or the running backs on these linebackers. He can keep up with anyone. Like, he can keep up with Christian McCaffrey's. He can keep up with the Kyle Pitts. It'll be all right. Beavers will be a great guy. He's been a second rounder. He'll be a second rounder. Is just a great, phenomenal one. Another defender that I wanted to bring up. Who was I going to end up bringing up out of all these? Oh, another linebacker. Damon Clark from LSU. Very good linebacker. He'll be going right in like the second, third round. And hopefully he can fall to us at third round if we don't end up not getting a linebacker in the first 3 picks. If we end up going like edge, receiver, safety. And then we can end up we have to kind of go for linebackers in the next couple picks. He's going to be one that's going to be right there along with those Georgia linebackers like Quay Walker or Channing Tindall. Any of those guys really would be okay. I got to interview Channing Tindall while I was at the Senior Bowl. Great linebacker. But I personally think Damon Clark is just going to be a little notch above him. And he'll be one of the best steals. Kind of reminds me of when the Colts found Darius Leonard in the second round. This is what Damon Clark is kind of reminding me. Not that I'm trying to compare the two, because they're just different linebackers, but the steal aspect of Damon Clark in the second round, it could be phenomenal. So I'm really liking him. Impressed a lot at the Senior Bowl, and I'm hoping the Lions took a lot of notice, because he's going to be really good.
That's a great point, Nick, on how you could get a potential elite talent, in which we've started to see it before with TJ Watt. He was end of the first round.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm talking defense, but Mon-Ra. But Darius Leonard in the second, and it's just guys like that can flip your franchise if you find like a diamond in the rough. And I even want to say Bobby Wagner was like mid. Yeah, it was kind of a late-ish pick.
It was in there. Yeah,
it wasn't high, but so we have the right GM to do it too. So I'm super stoked, and honestly, I have been more involved with these drafts and the Lions moves and stuff that's going on than honestly I ever have. Even Bob Quinn, his first, when we hired him, I was super pumped. Got the Patriots guy. We're gonna be the New England Patriots, yeah, baby, and it still wasn't that same excitement that I have right now. And so it's very good, fun. Boys. It's good.
I'll tell you what will make it a little bit more electric. I don't know how many more Senior Bowl players we'll talk about, if any. I think there's a good amount, but we'll be damned if we don't end this show at least talking Malik Willis.
No, of course.
This kid is electric. Holy moly, dude. This guy is literally a lightning bolt. He has rushed for over 1,700 yards and 27 touchdowns in his last 2 years. All right. Recruited by Auburn, went to Liberty. Everyone, Liberty, Bibberty. If we all remember the freaking Liberty, Bibberty. I'll dub it. Dude, he will pick up every third down for an NFL team. That's just it. That's just like Lamar Jackson. He will keep every drive alive. He may get him into 3rd and 12 by throwing very errant passes, but he'll run. He'll get 13 yards on that third down. Skipping him because you want a Matthew Stafford type quarterback, I guess. Skipping him because you want Trevor Lawrence, who threw more interceptions than anyone and may not even be the best quarterback in his draft class. Skipping him because you think next year CJ Stroud and Bryce Young are going to be better. And you think that the Lions will be so bad that we'll have a chance at getting one of those two and not just be sitting at 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, drafting a guy just like Malik Willis or Sam Howell or these quarterbacks that aren't NFL ready. If you think that's the way for the Lions to win, God bless your soul. God bless your soul, because Malik Willis may not be the most polished, best quarterback there is. But what Malik Willis does is extend drives and learns. the most coachable quarterback at the Senior Bowl. Got to a point where he was relaying the coaches, Mark Brunell's information to Sam Howell, to Bailey Zappi. All right. He is, if anything, going to be a phenomenal NFL coach. And that's the kind of quarterback that you want. A leader, a baller, and a game player. He checks all the marks. And just because everyone's freaking out because his accuracy wasn't amazing, can calm down. All right. Josh Allen's accuracy was terrible coming out of college. Josh Allen played for Wyoming, same division as North Dakota State, probably Bibberty. It's like Carson Wentz isn't an amazing quarterback, but had a very good run, right? Helped his team get to this like great spot time and time again in the playoffs. North Dakota State. You don't have to be a generational talent anymore. Coming from the armchair scouts who sit on their freaking couch and watch these film and say, no, dude. You can just be a generational talent because you want to be a generational talent. Malik Willis will be that. And with Dan Campbell, it would be an amazing pairing. With like a guy like Cliff Kingsbury, Malik will probably suck. That's what Kyler Murray's dealing with right now. Campbell will bring out the best.
Yeah, Nick. Of course, I was going to bring up Malik Willis, but I was actually going to touch on all the quarterbacks and just kind of pick your guys' brain on that. So that's where we will kind of wrap things up. So with the quarterbacks, let's start with Malik. Yeah, man, he's a speedster, and he obviously, you guys probably already know, I love running quarterbacks. They're what I preach in fantasy football, regular football, Madden, whatever. I'm always needing a running quarterback on my team. So if the Lions could get Malik Willis, and that would be like the closest we've had since, like, I hate to say it, but Dante Culpepper as a mobile dual threat quarterback. And just the fact that
I think John Kitna was more mobile than Dante Culpepper.
Honestly, man, I don't honestly say Stafford was in his heyday, the young years, but no. So if we got Malik Willis, what it does is we've seen time and time out, like Jalen Hurts. This dude he's not a stud, but because he's got legs and can move around, the defensive coordinators have to plan for that. So they have to spend more time researching, trying to figure out how to stop his legs than just trying to stop his arms. So now you have to stop two things. And if anything, Malik Willis, he might not win, I should say might not. Like he could not win a Super Bowl, not do anything. But what I do think he has a super good chance of doing is winning a playoff game for us in his first 1, 2, 3 seasons, just because coaches won't know what the hell to scheme for him. We'll just have to go based off of a couple games he's played in the regular season, some preseason, and then the college tape. And what I preach the most is it's the hardest thing to stop a quarterback in his first, year or two, a running quarterback at least, because coaches just haven't seen them in the NFL, and they don't know their tendencies on when they're rolling out to the right. They'll always take off and run for the first down, or when they're rolling to the left, he only runs it, 15% of the time or stuff like that. So I would absolutely love for the Lions to get Malik Willis, but here's the kicker. His stock value has raised, I think, enough to push that he's not going to fall to that 31 or 32 pick. So, Julius, let's start off with you first. I'm sure you're big on Malik Willis too. Hope so. But what would you be comfortable, if at all, with giving up to getting Malik Willis? And I guess what draft pick, how would you trade up to get him?
Listen, I really not buying the whole Malik Willis thing.
All right. I love it.
All right. I'm not fully bought in yet until I hear his name announced to the Detroit Lions, whether that be because they traded up and gave up the Rams pick and a third rounder or whatever to get there, up a few picks to get him. I wouldn't be upset with that per se. But it better be because Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes is their guy. They truly believe, because you don't want to just chase the hype and draft a guy because you got to look at what you already have. Look at your offensive line. ask yourself, does that work well with Malik Willis? Can that succeed with Malik Willis? Look at your running backs. What can they do to help Malik Willis? DeAndre
The
Swift,
best pass catching running back in the league.
Craig Reynolds, Jamal Williams, whoever else you want to draft. The kid we drafted last year, his name escapes me. And then, of course, your receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Quintez Cephas, TJ Hawkinson. How do they work with Malik Willis? How can they succeed with him? And if it all works out and it's all there and you believe in it, Brad Holmes, then I'm all down for it. But I don't want to chase the hype and make a mistake and draft a guy that's not going to mesh well or it's going to take too long to develop, stall the plan, and
this is why the Lions
he's dynamic. He's a dynamic winner.
Because we're too afraid to take the risk. We can't trade up. We already have a quarterback. This is what I was going to say earlier. 49ers are the only team in the world to have the balls to trade up and draft Trey Lance 3rd overall and then sit him, except for the Chiefs who did it with Pat Mahomes.
I think somebody's going to reach like that for Malik Willis, to be honest. I think somebody's going to jump.
We should get him at 2, and I don't care what anyone thinks.
It's going to be Denver after Aaron Rodgers tells them he's coming back to the Packers.
No, it's going to be Carolina at 6.
He missed out on Justin Fields.
I'd rather get Desmond Ridder in the 3rd round, to be honest.
Oh, no. Ridder's like Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah.
That's who
Desmond. You think so?
Yeah. He's terrible, bro. Yeah, he's terrible. Doesn't even know how to use his legs either. But Malik Willis is like Robert Griffin. You're going to get a stud 15 games out of him. You just need him to stay
healthy,
both knees intact. Yeah, that's going to be his big issue. That'll be his issue.
Those mobile quarterbacks, they take a lot of.
Lamar Jackson is doing great. You know what I mean?
No, he's not doing great because he's missed so many games for Baltimore.
That's because of COVID, bro. Get a fucking shot. I don't know what to tell you.
That's not because of COVID. It's because
he had like a
runs around the field. He's an inconsistent, errant passer, and he runs around the field and takes hits like other mobile quarterbacks. Unlike Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, who can sling it anywhere.
Yeah.
I will say Lamar Jackson, his injury came off of a pass. He was passing the ball when he got injured in that.
Should have ran it.
Can Malik Willis be our Josh Allen? That is the question. If Brad Holmes, if that
he can't. We don't want the next Josh Allen. We want
we do.
Malik Willis, bro. We want Malik Willis to be Malik Willis. We want him to be better than
I want him to be Josh Allen. I want him to be Josh Allen.
Yeah, all right. I'll take Josh Allen.
If we're trading up for him in the 1st round, if we're giving up anything of high value, I need him to work out. I need him to be more than even Lamar Jackson is.
What needs to happen is we need the Giants to praise Aiden Hutchinson, trade us 5 and 7 to get up to 2, and then we can take Malik at 5, Kyle Hamilton at 7. You know?
Oh my God. So awesome.
Hey, who knows? If the quarterback hype go crazy and Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, all top 5, top 10, and we dangle that little angler to the Giants, they not happy. Whoever else,
we talked to the Panthers once about trading quarterbacks.
The Panthers are the team that's going to end up drafting quarterback first if there's no trades. Like, that'll happen. They're going to get Malik Willis. Also, I know, man, before the show, every episode, I feel like we're going to be like, all right, 45 minutes. We're going to cut an hour and a half into it. It's just because
we're at 58 right now.
We're too good of friends. But I do want to just shout out the Reese Senior Bowl for allowing the Honolulu Blues to be represented there. I was the only one who made it this year. This is the 2nd time I made it for our show. Last year was the Lions Brawl. This year, Honolulu Blues. So just shout out to Reese Senior Bowl, head honcho Jim Nagy, and the entire staff, Molly, everyone who works there who helps out with it. It's an awesome time. Got to meet up with a lot of Lions, like people like Risden and Reisman. Got to meet all the coaches. It just really good time. I recommend it to everyone, even if you're not credentialed, to go to Mobile and check it out. It was right the same week as Mardi Gras. It will be every year. So you get Mardi Gras. It's more of a family-friendly Mardi Gras in Mobile. It's not like you're in New Orleans. So it's really fun. There's a huge parade. And then you get to go and enjoy, the game, and it's just a really good time. So thanks again for the Reese Senior Bowl to allow me and just our group, the Honolulu Blues, who I still feel is such a small little patch, in life, but yet we're getting credentialed to go to these things. That's an extreme honor. And I know Jim Nagy's probably not watching our show, but just in case this gets back to him, huge shout out. You did a great job. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to get down there next year because Mobile's not too crazy, not too far to get down there too. And the weather's good. So it'll be a nice little vacation. But before we wrap things up, outside of Malik Willis, is there any other quarterback you guys would be okay with, trading up a little bit or even taking with pick 31 or 32? Nick, let's start with you first.
I love Sam Howell. He's got a moon ball. Reminds me of Zach Wilson throwing the football. He's got legs, and he knows how to use them. It's really, really good quarterback. He's fallen. He didn't have the greatest Senior Bowl. His mentality does kind of remind me of Mitch Trubisky, and I'm trying not to just associate North Carolina quarterback with North Carolina quarterback. So I'm trying to get that out of my head, but I did kind of see that at the Senior Bowl. But if that's who we ultimately go with, I do love him. He was my favorite quarterback coming into the Senior Bowl, and even over Matt Corral. Right now it's Malik Willis, but I do like Sam Howell a lot.
Julius, you taking Kenny Pickett?
Well, you read my mind, Adam. And honestly, I'm very uncomfortable with every quarterback in this draft class. Everything is questionable. I'm looking forward to the combine. I'm looking forward to interviews. I'm looking forward to the hype that's about to come, the ebbs and flows. This is my favorite offseason. So I am just so excited about this offseason. And if any of them, honestly, Kenny Pickett, he looks the most polished. With the eye test, Senior Bowl, clips, tape, he just looks like he has the most upside as a dynamic passer for offense.
42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions this year. Pretty nuts.
So I don't know if I'm comfortable trading up for him that far. Just like I said, it's kind of like with Malik Willis, who I am excited about in other areas of his areas of his game as well. But I don't want to give up too much for those guys. I don't want to get those guys in the top 10 or top 15 at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm at. I'm kind of just hoping someone slides and we get, maybe like Sam Howell, Kenny Pickett, somehow Malik Willis, maybe someone at 32 would be excellent. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see a quarterback get drafted early, and then it's going to flood in with all the other teams trying to jump up into picks 10, 12, 15, 20, something like that. But as always, boys, good show. Thanks, everyone, for listening to us. You can check us out on Twitter at HonoluluBlues_. Check us out individually at Nick Faber NFL. Check Julius out at The Fifth Top, and check me out at Everyday FFB. As always, go Lions. We'll be back on Tuesday. Give us a like or review or positive, negative, comment, whatever, on Spotify, YouTube, and shortly Apple Podcast. But I think that's it, boys. Go Lions, and
go Stafford.
Go Stafford.
I'll say it. Go Stafford. Not going to say Rams. Go Stafford.
Go Stafford.
He's playing for Detroit right now, whether we like it or not. He surely is.
Man, if he wins the Super Bowl, I hope so bad. He just says and I just want to give a shout out to the fans of Detroit.
He won't do that. He won't do that. But I like where your head's at.
LA.
Yeah, maybe he'll be like, "Yo, I love Eminem." You know what I mean? That might be the closest we get.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good Super Bowl.
That halftime show is gonna be great. Enjoy the Super Bowl, everybody. Don't
drink
and drive.
Enjoy it.
Go Lions.
Go Lions.